All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something pretty incredible, the hidden journey of human health. I mean, it explains exactly why your great-grandparents were worried about totally different diseases than we are today.
So yeah, think about it. Why don't we really worry about something like the plague anymore, but we're constantly hearing about heart disease? Well, the answer is in this really cool public health concept. It's kind of like a map that shows the path every society takes as it develops. And this map, it explains this huge shift in what makes us sick and, what we die from. Okay, so this map has a name. It's called the Epidemiological Transition model. A bit of a mouthful, I know, so let's just call it the ETM. And what it does is it breaks down this whole huge journey of human health into 5 really clear stages.
So here they are, the 5 big stages. First up, you've got the age of pestilence and famine. Sounds grim, right? Then we move into the age of receding pandemics. Things start looking up. After that, it's the age of degenerative diseases. Then stage 4 is about delaying those diseases. And finally, there's this potential 5th stage, the age of re-emerging infections. Okay, let's unpack what each of these really means for people.
So that number you see, that was the average life expectancy back in stage 1, the age of pestilence and famine. I mean, just imagine, life was brutally short, totally unpredictable. The things that were killing people weren't old age. No way. It was infectious diseases. We're talking the plague, cholera, plus the constant threat of just not having enough food. But then, things finally start to shift. We get to stage 2, the age of receding pandemics. As societies started to industrialize, we began to fight back. And it wasn't super complex stuff at first. We're talking simple, but absolutely revolutionary changes, like clean water, basic hygiene, the beginnings of medicine. These things acted like a shield against those huge pandemics, and you can see the result. Death rates dropped, and life expectancy started climbing up toward 50.
All right, by stage 3, we've pretty much won the war against those big infectious diseases. But a whole new set of enemies shows up. Now, the leading causes of death aren't things you catch from someone else. Instead, they're chronic degenerative diseases. The illnesses that are tied to how we live and the fact that we're living longer. Think heart disease, think cancer.
And that brings us to stage 4, which is basically where a lot of developed countries are right now. We have amazing medical tech, advanced treatments for cancer, for heart disease, that lets people live longer even with these chronic conditions. But hold on, because it's not the end of the story. The model points to a possible stage 5. And this is a warning, really. It says our old enemies, those infectious diseases, might come back in new, scarier forms, like antibiotic-resistant superbugs. Or the globalization could just pour gasoline on the fire of a new virus.
Okay, so here's the really crucial point. This whole journey, it's not a simple, straight line that everyone follows neatly. Not at all. For a lot of countries today, the path is way more complicated, and that creates this incredibly difficult, unique challenge for global health. And this challenge has a name. It's called the double burden of disease, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It means many developing nations are stuck fighting a war on 2 fronts at the same time. They're trying to deal with the health problems of the past, infectious diseases, while also dealing with the health problems of the present, like chronic illnesses.
This comparison here just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one hand, you have these old foes that are still hanging around, malnutrition, cholera. But on the other hand, you have this rising tide of new threats, diabetes, cancer, heart disease. Just try to imagine being a healthcare system trying to deal with both of those at the same time. The strain is just immense.
So why does this happen? What creates this really difficult double burden situation? Well, let's take a look at the specific roadblocks that can stop a country from moving smoothly along this health journey. First off, the healthcare systems themselves are often just totally overwhelmed. I mean, they're working with not enough money, not enough doctors and nurses, not enough clinics. And to make it even harder, if you don't have good data telling you what people are actually sick with and dying from, how can you possibly plan an effective response? It's almost impossible. Then you have socioeconomic factors. And this is a huge one. Poverty and inequality create this devastating gap. The poorest people end up getting hit the hardest by both kinds of diseases. They're dealing with infectious diseases because of things like poor sanitation, but at the same time, they're being exposed to the risks for chronic illness that come with city life, like big changes in their diet.
And you absolutely can't forget about the environment. I mean, think about it. Air pollution from industry can make breathing problems so much worse. And then you've got climate change, which can actually help disease-carrying insects move into totally new places. It just adds this other terrifying, complex layer to the whole problem.
So, when you look at this map of our health journey, with all its new detours and all these roadblocks we've been talking about, what does it tell us about where we're all headed? What does the future of global health actually look like? This quote really nails it, I think. The model is a vital map, for sure. It helps us understand this journey, but it's an imperfect map. Why? Because it shows us a really critical truth. This journey isn't the same for everybody. In fact, for a lot of the world, the paths seem to be getting further apart, not closer together. And all of this leaves us with a really fundamental question about our future, about everyone's future. As we all start to face these huge global challenges together, things like climate change, antibiotic resistance, will our health journeys finally start to come together? Or are we actually heading toward a future where the divides get even bigger? A divide in the most basic human experience there is, how we live and why we die.